So 50 was on Hot 97, talking with Ebro and Rosenberg.
You just said feelings were valid, guys. You just said his feelings were valid.
They are.
And this is why when he stopped, it's because he felt like he could lose a brother. But he would have won the battle. Now, we did think, I was looking for J. Cole. Like, I'm like, oh, let me see what he's going to do. And that,
J. Cole's nice.
Yes.
Dead nice.
Yes. And then when I go, oh, no. Why did you do that? I wanted to call him and tell him, don't do that. No. No.
You think it hurts him?
Yes. Even now when he said the thing he said now, the register, how did you feel when you heard it?
I felt, well, if he wouldn't have said that line, just that line,
yeah,
I would have won the battle, but you can't retrospectively, after you stepped away, say you would have done a thing. I would have been fine with any other line leading into I would have lost my brother. I didn't want to compete.
But he said I'm nice, and that's why I was looking for him. Because he's nice.
No, nobody.
I just didn't wait.
Nobody disagrees.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you didn't. That would be like.
Yeah, no.
And then he went on to tell in the song, he's like,
Nah,
you know what Drake should do is.
What if it set off a whole new feeling in Kendrick?
Which part?
You're talking about you would have won.
Oh, if that has...
And if that, what you said?
Oh,
you said, you would have won? And he in there making a new CD now.
So that was 50 doing his commentary.
Could have said any line instead of saying, if I'd have got in, I would have did that. No, you can't. You stepped away gracefully. We had issues with that, but we found the gray area to where we like, all right, he stand on it. Let's give the man grace. He gracefully bowed out. All right, you did that. Don't tiptoe your ass talking about I should have did it. No, see now they'll start clowning you then, because you supposed to do all that. We know you got a potential to do it. We know you can do it, but you didn't. So don't do that.
I thought it was just interesting because the feelings that we had towards J. Cole and the way he handled himself in that battle were feelings shared throughout the nation.
Right.
And even 50 agreed that
and all
this
of
is
North
gonna hurt him
Carolina,
in the long run.
All of North Carolina felt that.
Yeah.
He let the whole
now
state
niggas think you come here to North Carolina for cheer one and apologies.
I wasn't going to get on, but I decided, what up? Yes, J. Cole, and we love J. Cole. J. Cole is the GOAT of North Carolina, without a doubt.
But it's levels to this shit, though.
It is levels, and like you say, if you bow out gracefully, leave everything else alone. The combatants went to it.
Don't tease us with that.
And on top of that, we're going to look at you, like we said, we're going to look at you a little differently now.
Right.
When you spit these bars, and they're going to be slick talking in these bars, we're going to still look at you and be like, boy, stop that.
What we doing here, people?
Because we know that's not what you're going to do. So, that's how I felt about the J. Cole thing. I've always felt about it, even though I still think the fall off's going to be dope. I think it's going to be an amazing album.
It better be. I mean, because again,
it sure does. It better be.
It better be. You sat right here. You teased us, and like I said, as a whole, you quote unquote the face of the state. You feel what I'm saying? This was your time to put North Carolina on the map to where supposed to respect between North and South Carolina, and instead you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball. This was the one of the greatest all-time battle. You feel what I'm saying?
Probably top 3.
All
if
day.
not 2.
Yeah.
If not
great. Not all time.
It's
it's not bigger than Cube and NWA.
It's up there.
No, it's not.
See, I'm
it's
thinking.
Up there. No, this is the reason.
It's not bigger than Jay and Nas.
Okay,
this is the only reason why.
Like
this,
J. Cole, Nas,
Nas
and Jay-Z.
But this is the only reason why I'm gonna say it's touching them, because when you add the internet, right? But when you add the internet to this, it pushes it up there to all them beefs that we're talking about.
It's one of the greatest beefs
exactly.
of all time. Like,
this was globalization type beef to where music stopped.
Because you got beef.
Music actually stopped.
Jeezy and Gucci.
But not only that,
you're talking beef, and then you got music beef.
You're talking about the 2 top MCs in the game.
Right.
Going at it. The 2 top. and that's why it's one of the. I think it's number 3. I might put it above.
I'll put it at 3.
And that NWA battle, I might put it above that. But
It
I
touches
think
all of
Jay-Z
them.
and Nas is number 1. That's number 1. I think this is number 2.
You would put that above KRS-One and MC Shan?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Because like I said, again,
And then you got to think audience.
right.
The audience for KRS-One
I'm-
and MC Shan was not that big.
This is it. I'm gonna put it here, and this is where it's proof to what we're saying. All those beef that we just described, was not music still keep going? Wasn't people still dropping shit? Right? When this beef was going on, nobody worth mentioning, talking about, dropped anything.
And the reason why I might put it number 1 is because all the other beefs we talked about, social media wasn't involved in.
Exactly.
The Ja Rule
This
50s.
right. This was a
like,
regional
this
thing.
is-
This was a global.
The
We talking
audience-
about country. We
the
talking
audience-
about the West Coast against Canada.
The audience they
You know-
had is huge.
Well,
Who's the
this is
best?
this is a music. This is a
This
music.
was a pure music.
This is a pure music beef.
like Jay and Nas.
Right, exactly. This wasn't no
beef
street beef.
Normally is about who's the best.
Right, that's
with
all.
the exception of
This
with
was
the
all
exception
about.
of 50 and Ja Rule. They just hated each other.
Right.
That was just beef.
That came from streets.
Yeah, that's street beef.
Right.
But as
Gucci
in-
and Jeezy.
Yeah, that was street.
Gucci Jeezy. That's street beef too.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Nas and Jay-Z was music. We're trying to see who's the best.
Correct.
Easy and Dre.
That was personal.
That was personal.
That was
That was beef.
personal. That was
That was
street
money.
beef.
It's
That was
still music,
but that was
though.
street beef.
That's still
though.
beef.
That was street.
That was street.
That was street. But I just put
Because you had one side, nigga, I write the music for everybody, and you just performing, and you trying to stunt like.
So that's why
I ain't the heart of this.
I got Drake and Kendrick number 2 when it comes to beefs. I do. That's why, because
All
their
day.
audience was bigger, and I just hold Jay-Z and Nas.
We
because
talking
I
about
just think
country.
they're the better
Listen,
artists.
we talking about countries, dog. Everything we just described was all within the United States. We talking about Canada against California.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Or we just say Canada and the USA. You feel what I'm saying? So this was a globalization type beef. And like I said, nobody, whether it's R&B, hip hop, that was worth mentioning, dropped anything because everybody was locked in on these two. So that's why you gotta give them an edge.
Yeah. So
thing, because
well,
didn't Drake and Future squash their beef?
I guess
That's the word on the street, is that Drake and Future squashed their beef.
I didn't know they had.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had beef.
That was the reason why Kendrick was him and Kendrick.
It was
No, it was the I know
Metro
jumped on the-
Future, and Kendrick.
Not
All of
Right.
them.
When Future dropped his album in the beginning of this year and K Dot came up there and slaughtered and
and
laid the
there's
first
no
blow.
Big three, it's Big Me.
Right. That was the start of it. And I
know.
sat there and said, who gave him the intel of the whole Atlanta scene? This West Coast. You feel what I'm saying? He ain't in Atlanta. Future gave him the intel when he talking about he's speaking for the culture. And he was talking, and I was like, and then on top of that, if you listen to Future album, I forgot, I don't know what song it is, but he got a couple of joints. He's directing to Drake. And I was like, hey, Drake ain't even want no smoke. I said, that's the big boogeyman out the whole shit.
Future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was on his album. Drake went at everybody but him.
I got a question for y'all, because this is what's been thrown out in the masses. Okay, the
Can you
big
understand
three.
what Future's saying? Oh, no, not really.
I can't. You
Oh,
know,
okay. I
I
thought
don't
that was
know
the
what
question
he's
you were about to
saying.
ask.
That's the whole purpose of it.
I don't know.
I thought that was about to be the question.
That's the whole purpose of it.
Okay.
Future.
A lot of
I like the
people like
beats.
Future.
I like the
you know,
beats.
but
I like the cadence.
when it comes to what he's
What the fuck he
saying,
saying, though?
what
He
is he
ain't saying
saying though? Exactly. But this is my question. Okay, when we were talking about the big three, they dropped J. Cole. Are you putting Tyler in there? Because that's who they threw.
Hell yeah.
Tyler the Creator.
Tyler
Yes,
Creator.
That's who they threw as would be the third.
He's
I like
up there.
Tyler the
I like
Creator.
it. He
As
made-
an artist
yeah.
lyrically. I'm not the biggest fan. of him.
Lyrics, no, not at all. But when it comes to
as
moving
an artist.
albums,
Too.
Yeah.
when it comes to moving albums and fan base, Tyler fan base crazy.
Yeah.
Tyler fan base crazy.
Yeah, he
Ain't the black Eminem or whatever?
No.
That's not the weird
Tyler
one?
just weird.
Ain't that the
he's-
weird one that
he's
just
weird.
took all the weird, gory, gay shit? That's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Tyler, but he just weird.
That's what I said. The black Eminem.
Is it weird or that just?
I mean that. He's
it's
a black,
weird to
he's
us
like a
because
black
we-
Eminem.
I say it's
Well,
central.
Eminem's
You
lyrical.
say is it weird to us or is it? No, it's weird.
No, he's a weird guy.
It's weird.
No,
Like,
Tyler's a little bit off.
Like, you know, sometimes we do the generation thing, but
You know, Tyler's
they
weird.
just weird.
Okay.
This nigga weird, bro. Like I said, he a black. To me, I call him the black Eminem. That's because
So we can figure Eminem is.
I
weird.
wouldn't compare him to Eminem.
Eminem
I don't think
Not
he's,
even music.
I don't
white.
think he spits as good as
Yeah,
Eminem.
No,
I don't think anything about him
Eminem
is-
It ain't got
is
no
white.
lyrics.
I don't
This-
think
yeah.
his lyrics
He's just
remotely
weird.
touch Eminem, but
Right. I'm just
weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's about the same.
So you would associate Eminem as weird?
yeah.
Yes, I
Have you
do.
listened to some of his songs? It's weird.
Yes,
He's his own
There's
mother.
some weird shit
yes.
going on with
Like,
Eminem.
that's
It's some weird stuff with Eminem. Like,
that's what I mean. Like weird, yo. Like
it's some weird stuff with
But
Eminem.
I don't ever. I've never compared Tyler to Eminem because
I
there's
always-
nothing
that's always how I've
musically that
looked at him,
compares
bro.
them.
Weird. Weird ties them together.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
he had a
Lots
better
of weird
delivery.
artists.
Like he had a better
This new
delivery, I
Eminem
think, than
ain't weird.
Eminem.
This new Eminem was on something else.
Yeah, this new Eminem. I don't.
Blue and
really
yellow.
I mean,
like.
Purple.
really though. I mean, if Marshall Manning, he was talking about killing his baby mama and shit.
Weird.
What I'm
Weird.
That's what I'm
So-
saying.
He was
I love
weird.
that album.
Weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
it was
I heard
that was
it
a
a
classic.
lot.